Good morning. Today we are writing the craziest and most random duet ever written at a time of social distancing. Joining me today is Atomous, and he will go ahead and explain the rules of this project.
So today we are going to be doing the random snare and tenor lick. So you might have thought that all of the other random licks on EMC's channel were random, but trust me, this is going to be extra random. We're going to the extremes this time. Like EMC mentioned, we are at social distancing right now, so we won't be writing this together at all. We're not going to talk to each other at all through this writing process, but we are going to follow these parameters to write our licks. We're going to be writing 32 measures at 120 BPM. So like I said, we won't be talking to each other at all through this process. So it's going to get real random, and likely most of these rhythms won't go together at all, but there's this twist. At two random points, we can send a message to each other, and in that message we will say what we're doing in a specific measure, and the other person that gets the text has to come up with something to complement what the person is doing in that measure. So now EMC is going to tell you some other parameters we're going to follow for writing these licks.
So clearly we can't write like random like couplet rhythms all the time. That'll get really terrible really fast. So we have the rule. You can only do 4 separate tuplets. Each of us will get the chance to do 4 of them. One of them will be a triplet, one of them will be a 5-let, one will be a 6-let, and one will be a 9-let. We each get to write one of those 4 rhythms once somewhere in this 32 bars. We might write it at the same time. It might go well together. It might not. You don't know. It's going to be random.
To make sure you catch all this amazing content, subscribe to both of our channels. The tenor part will be written and premiered on EMC's channel here, EMCProductions, and the snare part will be written and premiered on my channel, Atomous. Make sure you smack a like on both videos, click our notification bell so you don't miss a single upload, and stay tuned for more sick content.
Okay, so we're going to catch up with each other in about an hour after writing this whole thing out. So, let's get random.
So whenever I write music, I like to warm up first, just like all musicians should. Before they perform or write something, you should warm up, get the blood flowing in your arms. So I like playing on this nice crispy snare drum pad. I don't like Atomous pads because they take over a year to ship. But this off-world pad will do just fine. I personally don't think that's enough snare. I'm tired of people saying not enough cowbell. I need more snare. There's nothing better to add to that crispy sound of the snares on a snare drum pad than Doritos. So yeah, let's get shopping and let's have some tasty beats. Alright, so we got the random snare lick document open in MuseScore, and yeah, we're going to get ready. So basically what I'm going to do is come up with stuff and be as random as possible while following the guidelines that we're going to follow with the tuplets and other such things. But I'm just going to go back and forth between this pad and MuseScore, and you'll see the process of me writing it in there and the process of me figuring it out here. So let's get chopping. Alright, so I've decided I'm going to start off the first measure on the E of beat 1, so 1 E. So that's what I'm going to do for my first thing, a nice big right hand and left hand shot. Alright, so we're 1 measure in and my room already smells like nacho cheese Doritos. So yeah, let's get chopping into measure 2. We got 2 measures down. That means we're 1/16 of the way there. Speaking of 16th notes, maybe it's a good time to incorporate some 16th to 8. I love myself some good 16th to 8th note rhythms. Just thought of something. What if I add diddles over top of each thing and make it 16th note pairings instead? I think I'll just do 2 shots at the end there. For measure 4, I'm going to add my first twist and send EMCProductions a random thing about what I'm doing in this measure, and he has to come up with something to go along with it. For measure 4, we're going to do the poison lick. So far, I think we've got So yeah, we'll do. Cool, that sounds like a cool thing. So 4 left hand 16th notes in the diddle passage. Do 2 crossover hertas, then just 2 simple single patterns, and then another 2 crossovers. So I just made it through bar 6, and I got a random message from EMCProductions, which says, bar 9, jig 2. I'm not sure what part of jig 2 that means, and for those of you that don't know, I never marched in high school, so I never played jig 2. But I know how most of it goes, just not perfectly, so might have to make a random Google search in order to figure out what random part of jig 2 I should play. But anywho, we're not quite at bar 9 yet. We still got 7 and 8 to do. So let's chop these out and figure out what I want to do. I think I want to do a flam drag type grid thing, but it's not necessarily a grid, it just shifts around the beat. So up until this point, I think those few measures are going to go. So while writing this in the musical, I realized that the full grid format won't work in the 4/4. So instead, it's going to sound like this. Right, so for bar 9, we are doing jig 2. The tuplet part will violate the tuplet rule that we have in place. I haven't even used a single tuplet yet, but I plan to do those towards the second half of this piece. We're going to get into that later. Awesome drumline quads bass splits jig 2 redux. 16 million views. The most popular jig 2 ever. That's quite a thumbnail. Let's watch this one. I know this video is trash and I can't even hear anything. The snares sound just dirty in that. Oh look, there's a much more high quality video.
Good morning. Today we will be breaking down the most popular cadence on the internet. And that, of course, is jig 2.
So jig 2 snare part for 1 measure. Extra random. So now if you know me well, you would know that I love book reports. Book reports are my favorite rudiment. If you don't know what it is, this is basically what it is. A paradiddle with a diddle on the front end and the back end, and then you have a flam on the third partial with paradiddle sticking. So it sounds like this. I'm going to do 2 book reports, fancy visual, and then a crazy shot part. So I decided that the release off of the shot split measure will also continue off the right hand. So it'll go 2 counts of 30-second notes, single, decrescendoed. Then I need to figure out what the last 2 beats of that measure will be. I'll make that a 5-lit that extends over 2 beats. We're 16 measures in. I'm going to go ahead and send EMCProductions my random text number 2. I want that measure to be a hand-to-hand split, all on the right hand. Alright, so now we're 17 measures in the piece, all is going well. But wait, I'm going to make it even more random. So as we all know, dropping your drumsticks is completely illegal. If you drop your drumsticks in the middle of a performance, everyone's going to stare at you like Simon Cowell and Gordon Ramsay. If you drop your drumsticks in the middle of an audition, you're going to get cut from the line. If you drop your drumsticks in the middle of a drumline battle, you're going to lose the entire drumline battle.
She dropped the sticks, ladies and gentlemen. Automatic safe. Looks like A&T should have quit while they were ahead.
But, in rare instances, if you willfully throw down your drumsticks instead of accidentally dropping them, you look like an absolute legend and a complete and total boss. So, for measure 18, I am going to willfully chuck my sticks and whip out my fake top secret drumsticks. I just got the final random text of the day from the legend EMCProductions himself, and he says, measure 32, all triple fortissimo, all shots. Oh, we're gonna have some fun with that one. It's time to add some even more randomness to this. We're going to be adding some memes. My favorite memes that you can do on any drum is the Mario theme. So we got to go ahead and add that in right here. I add that drag in there just to give it a little bit more of a spice to it. I think after the Mario meme, I'm going to do some more flam patterns, but this time bring it to the rim. So yeah, let's add some extra spice to this with Swiss Army and inverted. Everybody loves some good inverteds. Alright, let's put it in a mute score. This lick is pretty random, but I don't think it's random enough. I need more fuel. Time to go Super Saiyan mode. There is no way that I could do this random lick without adding in my most favorite stick trick of all time, and that is the stick pop. The stick pop is the most legendary stick trick ever because it is so simple, yet so cool. I still got 2 tuplets left. I got the triplet and then the 9-lit. The 9-lit is like the supreme version of the triplet. It's like 3 triplets in one. Alright, we are at that point, ladies and gentlemen. We are on to the 4 final measures of the random lick. Smash that like button and let's go ahead and finish this lick. What's up, guys? I just finished the entirety of the random snare lick. I'm going to touch base now with Eric and we're going to talk about what we thought and how things went with the writing process. See you guys then.
Okay, and we're back from that crazy experiment, and we're about to see how well this is actually going to work out. But first, don't forget to click that subscribe button.
And make sure you click on that Taco Bell right next to the subscribe button so you don't miss a single upload.
And also, of course, click that like button.
Now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time for the random snare and tenor lick. Cue that countdown.
Bye.